Welcome back to Central Coast Disc Golf. This is round 2 from the 2023 Zootown Open up in the foothills outside of Missoula, Montana. The Blue Mountain Disc Golf Course, first established in 1992. And I'm your host, Nate Perkins, and I'm joined here with my good friend and touring professional, Connor O'Reilly. What do you think of this track, Connor?
I think it's bringing a fresh set of challenges to the Disc Golf Pro Tour, a style of golf that we're not really necessarily used to seeing. We see separation of strokes based off not only technicality and gap hitting, but also different levels of power throughout the course. So I really like how it's shaping up for the players. Walk us through hole 1, Nate.
Yeah, blind tee shot here. Par 3, 483. Probably plays closer to 400 feet. Distance isn't a real issue here. This one descends about 50 feet from tee to basket, so pretty significant downhill tee shot. Kind of want to push something flat for most of the flight and then have it kind of just slow down and start to break through this gap right here that the drone is dropping in on. It's honestly a tricky hole to birdie.
It's one of a few of those hyzer shots on the course that has a lot more nuance than you think. You really have to push it flat, like Nate said, for most of it, and then have it hook up at the end. If you throw pure hyzer, you really have to count on some good kind of tree play in order to get it close here. Evan, long circle 2 look.
So Evan Scott, I believe, is 18 years old, as well as Ty Love. Pretty sweet, Connor.
Yeah, both great kids too, and huge bright futures for both these guys. If you haven't seen Ty play much, smooth player, tons of power, both out of his backhand and on the green.
Missoula, Montana resident, 2021 world champion, James Conrad.
Let's go, James!
Yeah, you could hear the announcer say, former resident of Missoula, James grew up a military kid and lived here, I believe, 1997 for a few years, and this was actually the very first course that JC played.
Super cool to have the living legend out here at a place he used to play back as a child.
And James actually pulls that Terra wide, and that is where the danger happens here on the first. So Dallin Blanchard, double the age of Evan and Ty. He is 36 years old. One of, if not the best player to come out of this state of Idaho. He is a father of 5.
Oh, Dallin's goated in Idaho. You know it, Nate. Dallin, I like to say, is probably my pick for the best player who's not on tour currently. He's been kind of...
Hard to argue. He's been 1030 rated for a number of years now, and
James finds himself a lot of work. Gonna take quite the highlight to save par. Ty looked to be okay with just a pitch up here to start on 1. Evan was definitely bidding that with the pace he put behind it. He's very skilled on the green, so definitely always going to be in control.
And Dallin, after going deep, had a little window, but looks like no one is going to connect for the birdie here on 1. Nice committed stroke there from Evan. Man, he's a little guy, isn't he?
Yeah, Evan can't weigh more than, honestly, $150 maybe. And he really maximizes the amount of mass he has with his line shaping. And like I said, he's lethal on the putting green. Ty, not a huge guy either, but has a little more meat on them bones.
Yeah, and then Dallon's like 6'4".
Dallon's not lacking for meat on the bones. He's a big, strong guy, really good athlete. Smooth power you'll see out of him all day.
Really nice guy, too. I was chatting with him. He's doing full-time real estate to support his family, and now disc golf is just kind of secondary, but he still enjoys the competition at the top.
Yeah, it's great to see him dabbling in some competition here in Missoula. Hole 2, 346-foot par 3. Only one way really to attack this, and that's with a line that's going to move from the right to the left. All right-hand players here, so backhand hyzers coming out. Probably with fairway drivers, though you probably could flip up a mid-range if you really wanted to. Coming in short left is going to be the clean way to get there. If you push it long, you got to get lucky, but sometimes it works out. And this is the first tee where you really feel the bite of those mosquitoes out here in Missoula.
Good looking swing there from Evan, just super clean. Kind of has a lot of momentum into his throw, and he uses it pretty efficiently.
Yeah, and he squeezed through that long right side. Got a little fortunate. Could have ended up with 40-footer, but got through.
Ty had almost like a little combination between like Tristan Tanner, Mason Ford. Like the way that he kind of holds it flat like Tristan does.
Yeah, definitely very
you see that at all?
Clean, powerful mechanics. I can see some of what you're saying. Yeah, I think stature-wise fits Mason well, and both good swings. So yeah, I can definitely see.
James gonna collect himself after the bogey.
James, obviously very unique player, built his game around a style that only he plays, and he takes that same gap that we saw Evan hit. Little long, but...
Yeah, clean shot with the volt right there. James has been throwing that black one all season long. It's straightened out for him.
Dallon pitching up, I believe. A pig maybe there.
A little bit different of a start for Dallon. He birdied the first 8 holes during the opening round, and he's going to be 1 over through the first 2 today.
Ty shows off that smooth putting stroke there, even though he comes up a bit short. Evan kind of rocks the baby, I like to say, with his putt.
Starts it on Annie. Yeah.
Kind of comes down, but then drops it a little low, drops it down one extra layer on the elevator, and then comes up with some really good pace.
Couple of nice short birdie putts there for Evan and James.
Yeah, it's when it feels like you got to hit your shape, but to get the park draw birdie, it feels like you got to get a little fortune.
It was just another beautiful day in Missoula, mid to high 70s and humidity down. The thunderstorms held off, but there were some like big thunderhead clouds kind of forming over the peaks to the west of the course, and just beautiful, expansive views.
Near ideal disc golf conditions.
Yeah, hole 3, 525, plays probably a little over 600 feet, just gradually uphill the entire way. Very specific landing zone here. You want to land right about here. Anything off to the left or right kind of closes your line, as this second half of the fairway is maybe 25 feet across the whole way. Pretty straight. Gradually up this hill. Kind of a generous opening as we approach the green here.
Yeah, if you can picture the size of like a hobbit hole entrance, it feels like that's what the second part of this tunnel is, and pretty open on this first shot though, so placement is key.
It's a good spot. A little straighter than he wanted, but he'll have a little draw into the pin.
Yeah, that bounce to the right off the pine cones could have cost him a bit of a better window. Even a foot or two makes a big difference on this one.
James throwing his Terra.
That's a good play. I think not trying to put too much air on it and just staying accurate. We saw James throw in for 2 on this one during round 1, so let's see if he can recreate the magic. James had a 4 down through 3 start. Him and Dallin both were riding some of that fire.
Ooh. And Dallin punches through the trees, and he's way up into the gap, actually.
I haven't seen anyone use that much of the line and really shape the big S-turn here. Most people kind of going for the straight drift shot.
So James still going hex here, and look at the hyzer on that understable mid.
He didn't make it, but the line was on it.
It was perfect.
Ooh, Ty, good disc selection there to stable up late. Puts him just outside the bullseye.
He is super clean. That was some clean spin right there from a standstill.
Yeah, the momentum he got there just shows such good mechanical ability. And Evan shaping that one beautifully.
Oh, man, they're kind of piecing this hole apart.
It is simple on paper, but this approach is definitely touchy. Dallin.
Oh.
Looking to ring that one up.
What, the furthest out is just a step outside the bullseye.
Oh, apparently not. I thought Ty was further out, but Dallin stepping up first. So that means everyone's probably right on that bullseye line. Or maybe Ty was off there putting on bug spray, so Dallin went ahead first. And now he comes to clean up birdie as well. Yeah, they brought that whole average down real quick. Nice little diamond frame for the card. Out here in the Treasure State.
The Treasure State. Montana is a nice place to be this time of year. If you can handle some mosquitoes, it'll be just fine.
Katrina Allen! Maria Oliva! She's done it! Kristen Tatar!
Sai Ananda. Stacy Saladia.
Champion Oakland and Austin!
Paige Pierce.
Hole 4 plays back down this same hill that we just played up. Similar distance, par 4, but way different landscape here. Tons of trees shaping this line here. It's very specific, but it will lead you right to the basket for a possible eagle look if you can hit it right, or if you can get close enough and then get fortunate through the trees. For these right-hand players looking to play a lot of hyzer out of the hand on something that'll kind of stand up if you really want to pure this line. But most are okay hitting something kind of stable and just getting around the corner, knowing that'll give them a short scramble approach for a likely birdie.
Yeah, Evan just on the deep side of that trail.
Yeah, just pushed it long, but it looked like his pace was really good and slithered down to the middle there.
James also pushing that photon just a little straight.
Same type of line for James. He just had quite a bit more speed, so you saw him push that back wall. Whoa.
Pulled it.
Assuming you beat this corner, this is one of the easier holes on the course, but an early release like Ty's can spell disaster.
T-bird there for Dallin.
Yeah, Dallin gave himself a long eagle look there. Well executed. Not quite holding the angle for Ty there. Par should be pretty simple though.
Beautiful display of touch right there from Evan.
Evan dissected that hole. I believe he threw like a mid-range or something off the tee the way that one was flying. So if so, he's playing this one really smart. Showing a lot of maturity for a young player. James left a bit to be desired as Ty seems to just be pitching up.
Yeah, this can get a little dicey coming in on Heiser. This green is somewhat sloped from left to right. Oh, no. Dallin finds a stone at 30 feet.
Yeah, he matched that angle coming in, but just needed to land a few inches further.
No. Oh, and that just feels like a bogey from where he was.
Yeah, he was a little bit uphill from the basket on that putt, and as a tall guy, he just didn't create the angle he needed. You can tell the slopes on the camera, but until you're there in person, you guys, it's like there's like a minus 0.5 filter on whatever elevation is actually out there when you're watching.
It's interesting how it just doesn't translate. And you were kind of speaking on, Connor, how that you just can't see all the other things that the player has to go through, such as like the tough footing and how sometimes you're just out of breath. And, you know, of course, this difference in your disc stability and your putts dropping. Like, it really is mountain golf, and it's just different.
It truly is. Hole 5, second hardest hole on the track, Nate.
Really? Okay. I could see maybe the danger down here left. Like if you miss this initial gap, and this gap really is only 15 feet across here at the skinniest, and pretty demanding shape. You have to really hyzer flip, get it to ride straight and stay straight, and then nestle at the end of the flight because there's a hill behind the basket, rollaway potential.
I think the tricky part here is disc selection. It looks like Evan's playing this zone that I believe he just played on both shots on the last hole, looking to play a drag over that fights. He missed his angle there. But I think this one plays right in that long putter, soft mid-range zone as far downhill and with the danger long. James, as you see, pushes it deep even though he chooses putter.
Yeah. Is 370, what do you think it plays like? Just a bit shorter than that?
It seems to be playing like 330 to me, honestly. It's really not playing that long. Ty gives that one a scare, but he is going to honestly be in a position where making birdie is almost just undoable. And he's only like 60 feet from the basket.
A little old school Eagle McMahon MD3 there from Dallin.
Touch early, looked to be shaping up correctly though if he had missed that tree.
And this is what happens if you miss that gap left side. It's so gnarly, and Dallin makes good work from down in the ditch. Can get bad.
Absolutely.
This is a little Evan Scott way down in the ditch, Connor.
Scrambling like a madman, giving himself...
Chill.
Oh, putting the remote
Just
control on.
chill.
Do not do that to him. Wow. Well, there you guys get to
slowest.
see firsthand the slopes and what they can do out here. That was one of the most dramatic rolls we've probably ever seen.
It had just the slowest little it was like done rolling. It was like wobbling.
It was done rolling like 4 different times, and it just kept finding some momentum.
An unfortunate way for him to take his first bogey.
We're getting to see
Wild
Ty pitch up from Narnia. We're getting to see, like I said, how difficult these slopes can be for the players.
James, a little awkward 40-footer here. Yeah, just didn't quite get the pace behind that one from on the hillside.
Strong putt there for par for Dallin. Tough hole for the card for sure.
Yeah, they just played it 1 over.
Evan follows up his turkey with an unfortunate bogey. Ty, I feel maybe he's playing a mid-range there, whatever that yellow disc is. Maybe some kind of EMAC truth or something. And yeah, just a little too long there. Hole 6. Par 3 at 324 feet. Some of the locals will think of this as hole 1 as it is for certain layouts and has been in the past. But here in the Pro Tour, it is hole 6, and it's a very particular one. The backhand straight shot that drifts ever so slightly to the right throughout the flight is available, though it takes a lot of technical prowess, and the power hyzer flip forehand is a great option as well, especially the way the slope angles into the green. So pick your poison forehand or backhand here on hole 6.
James going hex here. And he corrects on yesterday's line, and that is money.
I was going to say overturned because at sea level, I feel like that line would have been, but that elevation paying off and that hex flattening out at the end. What a beautiful line.
Oh, and Ty just a little inside, and he really gets punished for that one. That's kind of tricky up and down over there.
Yeah, Ty does have such a whippy stroke. Puts a lot of spin on the disc. And
going MD3. Good line, just a little low. Maybe 50 feet from there.
we're going to see 4 for 4 backhands on a hole that most likely sees a pretty 50-50 split. Evan looks like he put better height than Dallin and almost slips up into the bullseye, but gravity pulls him down. Ty pitching up with Sake Bomb Slammer, looks like.
Where did this one rank, Connor, as far as the difficulty, as Dallin doesn't give that one a honest chance there?
Hole 6 played right in the middle of the pack. Just a tenth of a stroke under par on the day. We did, in fact, see a 1 on the scorecard here, though. Big props to Marty Grant carding the ace here on hole 6.
There was a video of it, too. Leopard in the heart and his whole card, including him, are just jumping up and down like little kids.
I saw the excitement. It was awesome.
Oh, and James and Evan, again, lone birdies on the hole. They playing well through 6, both 3 down. Evan has the lead 1 over JC, and we move into the shortest hole here at Blue Mountain. It is a blind 227, little forehand chip or a little putter turnover. You can see just how slanted it really is from right to left. Stable forehands have a good chance of picking up and rolling, and this is really the hole where the big rollaway potential starts, and you could roll like 200 feet down the mountain.
Yeah, if you roll only 70 feet down, you feel kind of fortunate on this one, and that says a lot. James looks to have aired this one on the high side just like he needs. Gets the curl back, playing the pro backspin. What a shot. If you find that grass deep in the basket, it seems like you get some more dead ground play as well, so not a bad thing. Evan testing the ground play, though, coming in and spike hyzer.
And a fortunate reaction, I feel.
Absolutely.
Could have taken the other turn.
I think we see that spiking high driver shot have the most bad breaks. This forehand Ty's playing, though, lands a little flatter and definitely seems to check up.
Looked like a
lot
slammer.
nicer. Yeah, good disc selection and great shot.
Maybe a pig here from Dallin.
Playing the high line as well, but slower disc.
Yeah.
Flops down. That was a bit dicey, but it sits nice.
4 solid drives. Committed. That was kind of a good look at the way that he draws it down.
Yeah.
He kind of tilts the nose of the disc down, and so it allows him to get kind of that tension between his pads and the disc. You know, there's a few players, like Adam Hammies is a player that does that.
Yeah, and they both kind of like to drive it with just a little bit of kind of up and down movement. So, Evan, though, I feel like when he's putting well, I feel he seems to be finding that high center chains a lot, where he's just coming in a few inches below the band, a lot of pace. James with the only backhand of the card.
Little star frame there for the card.
Hole 8, another one of the intricate hyzer type shots out here at Blue Mountain. 342 feet. Plays slightly up the hill, and I think we had a little bit of wind kind of showing, but it was very calm today. There is a power hyzer if you have upper echelon power, but only a few guys in the field can really play a pure hyzer here. Most guys playing that straight pushing hyzer, or even a little bit of nose up flex and having it stall fade left at the end on an exposed putting green.
Pushing up and over the trees.
Wow.
And whoa, that was on the money. It's totally blind from the tee. You can't really tell how close you are until you walk up and over the hill.
We've seen this one have a number of scares on the ace. See what Evan's got. Oh my gosh, another one matches it. That is, these guys are dialed in right now.
Yeah, they are.
Battling 14 and 15 down currently. Ty playing more of the wide power hyzer. Catches the tree to beat.
Oh, just over the tops.
Oh my gosh. These guys are scaring the basket
This is
here.
not an easy hole.
Yeah, 3 shots inside of 20 it
Yeah.
appears. That's, yeah.
Just thinking about the round, I mean, Evan and James really haven't. Evan just missed two tee shots. James just the one on the opening hole, and then a short putt on 5. But they're looking good.
Yeah, most definitely the players on lead card looking to stay in that position here on moving day. Evan, another smooth stroke just over the cage. Turkey, bogey, turkey for Scott. James with the CTP once again. He's got a birdie run going.
Short walk to the tee pad of hole 9. Expansive views, got the mountains in your background. 630 feet. You could get there with a mid. You could get there with a fairway. It descends probably just over 100 feet from the tee to the green. So substantial downhill tee shot here. Honestly, one of the signature holes of the front 9. The late part of this par 3 is the more difficult section. You kind of have to get lucky if you throw high. If you go low, you just don't know what kind of ground play you're going to get. The green is super fast.
James playing that low shot, looking to get some lift and maybe some skip. Oh my gosh.
He gets
all
exactly that, dude. Skips off the shale and just bullseyes it.
Nate, can you believe that hole 5 played harder than hole 9 today?
It's 630
Does that make any
feet.
sense to you?
This hole is so much fun to play, and to stand behind and watch people attack this is a joy. Can't believe James just parked it with the Terra.
Shots like James's, I guess, helping its case for being easier than hole 5. But Dallin, if he gets through the trees, this line is tracking. Oh, not quite able to get through that wall. Just a chip up from there. This green plays no games. Ty also playing low. But as you see, those pines are thick and they kill all momentum.
And this shot's touchy right here. Probably 180 feet.
Goes back to that
that
slammer
is
once
So
again.
good. Those short shots. I mean, he's not going to score there. He's going to get a par, but
Yeah, he's put them all on the bullseye's edge or inside.
that's something we don't have enough of, I feel like, in the game. Is just, little touch shots like that. I mean, where you get to score as well.
For sure. I
Like
think
shorter, more technical little maneuvers around trees at slow speeds. I always thought that was a kind of a more magical part of the game.
And I think to do that, we kind of have to bring some tight out of bounds in here at times and be willing to push the envelope on that in those shorter ranges. Because I do think that's a skill that should be highlighted at least a couple times throughout the course.
Yeah.
I think we saw Blue Ridge kind of show some of that earlier in the year with mixed reviews, but I think it did. That if you played that 200-foot accurate shot well out there, you had a good time.
Blue Ridge did it, and then honestly, just last week or 2 weeks ago at Shelton Springs, and we're taking a look at the scores here.
Tied up at the top.
Yeah, Evan and James really played well on that front nine. They both carded a bogey, but nearly every shot other than that was to perfection. And Clay Edwards shooting a 6 down on that front nine. AB shooting 5, and we have a lot of players still in this tournament, Connor.
Let's go, Clay.
And thank you guys for joining us again here on Central Coast Disc Golf. I'm Perks of Disc Golf, here with my guy Connor. Connor, where are you at on Instagram?
Connor O'Reilly and my PDGA number, which is 99648.
Well, it's really an honor to work with you, Connor, and an honor to host this coverage. Central Coast working so hard, bringing you guys the next day coverage. Leave us a comment, and we'll see you tomorrow.